So what's your name?
Jacob Cole.
And where are you from?
Rena, Nevada.
Oh wow, how did you end up here?
Some stuff happened and it wasn't safe for me to be there anymore, so I kind of moved to Portland, and Portland was just too big and too much people, and it was like kind of overwhelming, and so I moved here. I loved it, and I met her, and we had a baby together, and yeah.
What would you say have been some of the hardest part or biggest barriers of living on the streets?
Well, we just recently lost our kid. We were housed up for 10 months, and then I got evicted, lost my job, and just not being able to see her is really hard, especially with COVID-19 right now. Like, we're only allowed to do Skype visits. We're not even allowed to see her in person. Finding a job is super hard because like people look down on you because you can't always shower, and you know there's a lot of like mental things that go on with being homeless.
If you don't mind talking about it, could you tell us a little bit more about like what happened with your kid?
We became homeless again. We went back to my hometown for a little bit and had a trailer, and I had a job and we were doing really well, and then I lost my job and eventually got an eviction. Moved back here. We were staying with a friend for a little bit, but we weren't on the lease. She went to Eugene mission for a little bit, and I stayed outside, and they just weren't being flexible with her at all. But she wasn't able to walk at the time, or quite yet. And how are you supposed to like mop and sweep and take out the trash and, you know, use all these chemicals like bleach and stuff, and then like hold your kid at the same time? It's like you can't. And stuff about her, I guess, and called DHS and kicked her out, and they came and took her. It really sucks because before we got her taken, we had to like spange up every night to get a motel at least and some food. She never was outside. We were always able to provide for her, but it was a point where like if we continued, you know, the way we were going, it just wouldn't be a thing. People aren't gonna want to give us money every night. When you're focusing on your daughter all the time, it's super hard to get a job and doing everything else and trying to make money so she can survive. There'd be periods of time where me and her wouldn't eat at all just so our baby can eat. We're just working our hardest to get her back at this point.
How has your experience been dealing with the foster care system in order to get your kid back?
Yeah. The foster family doesn't even really want to meet us at all. Like, we have no idea really who they are, which is kind of scary because
we had a housing opportunity that we weren't able to take due to.
Yeah, it's just weird, somebody else taking care of your like child, and you have your certain ways of discipline and, you know, the way you teach and do things that you don't really know what the other people are doing. And so like when it comes time for that reunification, it's like the baby's on like a totally separate page from you at that point because they've been taught from somebody completely different, and it's just gonna be something that we're gonna have to get used to.
And what are the requirements for like getting her back?
Stable housing at least for like 5 months because they want us
5 months before you can.
Yeah,
wow.
Because they want to see how we do by ourselves in a stable situation. Like, you know, food prepared for her, the crib and everything, and like have everything basically set up for her and is stable enough for them to trust her in our care again. We got a housing opportunity, but the baby needs to be in our care in order to get the housing opportunity, but we need the housing and the stability. Like, we had to go through parenting classes, we have to do health evaluations and all that before we get our kids, so that kind of fell through because there was like no loophole, there was no way to like work it out. whether they let us stay there without her for a while, or you know, we get her back and we just have a closer eye watch on us or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just really weird. It's a bunch of hoops. That's all it is. Like, we have to do a health evaluation, parenting classes. What else do we have to do?
I have to follow my probation.
Oh, she has to follow probation and go back to school and do therapy and this and that, and it's just a lot. Not really. I mean, I just wish there was like some way to like start working on like lower income housing, like you guys were talking about, to give people more of an opportunity instead of like making housing really high to the point where like most normal people can barely pay for rent and are like living paycheck to paycheck. It's a very stressful situation, and I don't know, for those who just struggle more with communication and like other skills like getting a job and stuff, and just like not being able to get those higher up jobs that pay more, working minimum wage, there's gotta be some sort of housing for that.
Thank you for sharing.
No problem. Thank you.